Hello friends, so nice to be with you for day number 32 of the counting of the Omer. We are navigating the Sephirah of Hod, which can be translated in many ways, but for our purposes tonight, we translate it as gratitude. And Rabbi Mark Margolius uses wonderful water imagery and working with that imagery. Last week we had the roaring rapids of Netzach. And this week we encounter, surprise, surprise, right? The opposite. We have the very still waters of Hod. Think of a lake, sort of like a glass reflection. It's so still. And we are in the boat, and we are asked to put our paddles, our oars down as we allow ourselves to let everything just be as it is. Hod is a receiving energy. And that can be very difficult sometimes to sit with. One way to accept what is through the practice of gratitude. We might be in this river and without our paddles, or we lost a paddle, or we broke a paddle, or we forgot a paddle. But we can also remind ourselves that we are in a solid boat, doesn't have any leaks. We have a life jacket on, we can always swim, and there's not an alligator in sight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's an example of the energies of Hod. We are just sitting and accepting and being, receiving and saying, thank you. And tonight we are asked to consider Netzach in Hod. Now, how can we utilize this opposite, this driving forward energy of Netzach in Hod, which is so still? Well, if we think of Netzach as the drive towards persistence and endurance, how can we use it to sit still and receive exactly what is, perfect or imperfect as it is, and to cultivate gratitude? For me, Netzach in Hod is about my persisting energy to remain still, particularly when or despite of my fear, when I'm in fear mode. For example, when I am connecting with someone I love, like my husband or my children, and the thought comes into my mind that I may lose them someday. Not so crazy considering this past year, we almost lost my husband twice. Can I then persist, and instead of turning away from this moment of goodness and beauty and connection, can I persist and still hold still and allow myself to feel the moment, to cultivate gratitude and feel the joy that gratitude brings? I will tell you that there are many times I find myself backing away from connection because of the scare, the fear of knowing that someday there will be loss. So that's my work. On day 32 of this counting of the Omer, can you bring the persistence of Netzach along with a chesed compassion to whatever fears or anxiety may pull you away from the in the moment joyful experience of gratitude? Can we, in fact, hold both the fear and the joy simultaneously? Let's bless Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, source of life, Spirit of the world, who has sanctified us with commandments and commanded us to count the Omer. Hayom shneim ushloshim yom shehem arba'a shavuot ve'arba'a yamim la'omer. Today is day 32, which is 4 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. Erev Tov. Have a good night.